Hello, my name is Joy, and I am a therapist in Oregon. I recently got licensed, and I am starting to get back into billing again. The last time I billed was a couple years ago when I was able to be in network just with Medicaid, but things had changed, and so I haven't done it for a few years, other than some car accident claim billing. So I just wanted to go over in a way, if you want to do billing yourself, I hope to help other people in private practice learn how to do billing. So if you want to do the billing yourself for insurance, I recommend using Office Ally. The first step would be to go to officeally.com, and that's officeally.com. You go there and then you create an account. You go through that process. You then will be given a business associate agreement with them, so you have to fill that information out as well. And that just ensures that there's going to be HIPAA compliance with all the information that you enter and that is provided to insurance companies. So once you have your business associate agreement, I definitely recommend saving that because that's part of the HIPAA compliance paperwork that you want to keep. You also just want to make sure that you know who is your main office person, and that most likely is yourself. For me, it's just me, so I will just put myself down as the contact, the main administrator, I think it's called. So I just wanted to go over first how to create your first claim. So you're going to navigate yourself to officeally.com, and then you log in with the account that you created. Now I'm going to switch the screen so you can see on my computer. I will say that I can't actually show you a real client because that would be not HIPAA compliant. So I'm going to just show you what you do when you get to, when you're ready to fill out your first claim. Navigate to, so here you see online entry. You're going to go all the way to online claim entry. Click that, and then you're going to say create professional CMS 1500 claim. Once you have submitted a claim, you can use that same information and use the Manage Stored Info option. But for right now, since this is your first time, we're just going to go to Create Professional CMS 1500 Claim. Now for this one, you can select, there's a lot of payers that are already on here. So for instance, if you're using, let's see, so if you're using Pacific Source, for instance, you just need to make sure that you select the correct one. So right here, we could select Pacific Source. Go ahead and click that. And then it already gives you the address or payer ID. And then it says the state as well, the address. So then the first thing that you want to do is create, fill the information out for your client. So last name, first name, middle name is not required, the middle initial, but you can put that. Definitely required to have the patient's birth date. And then you do have to fill out the sex. You can put unknown for non-binary. And then you also have insurance. So once you fill out that name, you can fill out the address right here. That is required as well. City, state, zip code, telephone. So all those things are required. Now you go all the way over to this side, and instead of having to fill it all out again, you can just say copy from patient. And that is going to, well, I do it right now, but it doesn't help because I'm not putting anyone's name in there. But you copy from patient, and it'll all fill in on this side as well. So you don't have to enter it twice. You then go back to this side, and none of these, so the insured name, so this is assuming that if it's a spouse or something that's insured and not your actual patient, then that's what you would fill in here. You then have the insured policies or group number, and then you have, this one is not something you have to worry about. I honestly don't know what it is, but I just know that I never use it. And then we have the insurance plan name or program name. You then do the patient's condition related to, is it employment? So is it like a workers' compensation? And I would just select no if it's not. Yes if it is. And then if it's an auto accident, so this is what I use when I fill out car accident claims. So if it is an auto accident, you would click yes to that. If no, you click no. And if you click yes, you would want to also select which state it happened in. And then other accidents, of course, if that is the case, then you can select yes or no. Then you come over here, and this I never use either. So if you want to, you can, but if you have some other claim ID, you can fill it out there, but I've never used it before. And then you can, again, all this information will carry over when you do copy from patient. So if you fill everything out on the left side for the program name and insurance plan name, that will all fill over on this side. So then the next area I want to look at is the date of current illness. So that's only if you are going to do it's an accident or workers' compensation kind of situation. So then it's important that you do this. So I always select referring provider because I'm the one who is providing the service. If there is someone else that you're filling it out for, then that would not really be private practice, I don't believe. But I just select a referring provider. And then we go over here, and if it is a car accident claim, you do have to select accident for this one, 439, and then you fill out the date of the accident, or most insurance companies call it date of loss for a car accident. You then select 17A, you have to do something here. So I usually just go to, the options are over here. I usually, if you are billing for Blue Shield or Blue Cross, then I would just provide your provider number, or if you're doing for Medicaid or Medicare. But for all other ones that aren't in those categories, I would just select OB, which is the state license number. Then I go back here. Once I select it, then I enter it in here. And then you have your MPI. So that's always required on every claim. And as you'll see, you'll have to enter it again as well. And then if there is like a workers' comp or something related to that, then you would need to fill out patient unable to work and current occupation, from what dates, hospitalization dates would go here, outside lab. I never answer this question because it doesn't apply to me. And then I don't ever enter the resubmission code unless I needed one. Charges, original reference number, only if that applies to you. Now, of course, if you do have something that requires a prior authorization, you would want to enter that in this box here. So now we're going to go over to additional claim information. If you want to add anything else, so for instance, car accident claims, they usually like me to enter the date of loss here. I will enter that there. And then we have the next section, which is the diagnosis. So you can add up to, let's see, 12 diagnoses if you'd like to. And just keep in mind that whatever diagnosis you enter needs to also be on your records with the client, and your client most likely should know about them, but depending on what the reasons for that are, maybe you don't want to do that. So then you're going to do the dates of service. So you can submit up to 12 different dates of service per claim. And I usually like to do it every week or at least once a month if I am going to fill them out. So I wouldn't really necessarily have this many for one person. But you fill it out, you say from to, and those are the same dates. So from 3/11/2022, and then tab, or I just click over. You can do tab. It's the same day, 3/11. Of course I messed up as I'm showing you this. 11/2022. And then place of service. So this 11 is your office, if it's in office. If you are doing a telehealth video session, then you would say, here you would say 02, and you would need to add a modifier on A of GT. That is a code for telehealth communication. And then I don't ever use anything for EMG, but you do need to make sure that you have a CPT code. My most common one is 90837. And then if it is the office in-person visit, then we just do 11 here. Let's see, 11, and then I take out that modifier of GT. And I don't have any modifiers if I am not using GT. Then I go to the diagnosis pointer. So this is the diagnosis that was mostly focused on in the session. So if you focus on all the diagnosis, you can do You can write all of them, but you can also just select one main one if you like. So I'm just going to say A. Oh, and back to the diagnosis just for a minute. If you do, right here, you can, so if it's F4312, I work with trauma, so that's a pretty common diagnosis for me. 4312, you don't actually have to do the dot, just so you know. Okay, back to diagnosis pointer, and then we go to charges. So what charge you have per session goes there, and then days or units, so how many would be 1. As you probably know, most insurance companies don't let you bill for more than one of the same service per day. So if you did do this one, and then you also did like a teen test 16 where you did some case management, or you had some other code, then you would need to do an additional spot for that. So then we go to, I don't ever do the EPSDT family plan, so that doesn't usually apply to me, and I don't do the, well, at this point you just need to do your MPI. So you can select it, and you can either select something else, but I prefer just to do my MPI number because that's usually what they want. So you just enter it here. Once you enter it, it will fill in for the rest of the days that you select for. So once you've selected all your days and put them all in here, then you go down, you scroll down. Okay, and then you have federal tax ID number. So you can either bill under your EIN number or your social security number, depending on what the insurance plan requires. Like sometimes Medicaid will require it to be your social security number unless you're with a group. If you're with a group, then you might be billing under an EIN number. But for the most part, most individuals with Medicaid specifically will use their US social security number. I have other insurance companies that I work with who I just have it under my EIN. So I would enter either my EIN or my social security number in this box. Then we go under 26, and that it can be your patient's account number if you have one for them. I sometimes just do their initials. And then you have to say yes to accept assignment, otherwise this will not go through. Then you will go to, you won't fill this out unless there already has been some amount paid so far. So if there's already a copay amount, then you could enter that here. And then again, this is something I don't use, the NUCC use. So then we have facility name. The facility name is the name of your practice, and then your address, state, city, and all that information. You also want to enter your MPI ID, and then if you have a facility ID, enter it here. I will say that it's best to have something different between this address and the address you're going to enter here. Whether that's just, for me, I spell out suite in here, and then I just say STE for the suite number here, because sometimes they will do some weird stuff with that if for some reason the way that it goes through. So I just have something different in the address, whether you spell out street or something like that. And then you fill in all your information, and then you also want to fill out your taxonomy number. And even though like you enter all this information and you can manage the stored info later, you will have to enter your taxonomy number every time. And you also have to do it again down here. So the rendering provider is you, filling it out if you're in private practice, and this is your billing. And then you're going to go to billing group MPI. You don't have to have your own billing group type 2 MPI number, but if you want to, that's where you enter it. If you don't have a type 2, you just enter your own MPI. And then if you have a qualifier, you can enter that as well, but it's not required. The very last thing you do is you click on update. So as you'll see when I do this, it's going to tell me all the errors that I have because I didn't enter any information. So at this point, it tells you any errors that you have, and you'll have to fill out those things before continuing on. But if it does go through, then you will see it over in, you can go to claim fix, and you can see it under here, repairable claims, which are claims that are still going to be in the queue so that you have time to correct it if you made an error. So that's just a brief explanation of how to fill out your first claim. I will be in tune with you soon. All right, bye.